my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for January 2020. Though timeless, whenever you see it is when you are supposed to see it. I am your reader, Mark-Angela Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very happy to be working for you today. I'm Virgo, so I am always ready to serve pretty much. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm making my way to 1,000 subscribers bit by bit so I can do super live chat, make a little coin on the side. I'm pretty well booked actually right now, but you know, it's always fun. I just think it would be a hoot. And a promise I made to my subscribers is that once I get, you know, a couple more over 1,000, just a little wiggle room there, I will do a little ditty called a Drunk Tarot once a month for the first couple of months to see how that goes. There is a video in the description box that I made a couple of months ago. No, was it last month? Yeah, I think it might have been like November, December. My favorite video of last year called Clarifying Drunk Tarot. So you can go check that out. I laugh my ass off every time I watch that thing. That being said, let's talk a little bit here. Let's start with this as a general read, right? So it's never going to fit everybody all the time. Some of my people, you'll see comments. It's like some people I nail every time. Other people are like, you know, it's how it goes. That's why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs so that you can check your other signs for more info. Consider it like being a detective. You're going to get some clues here. You're going to get some clues there, putting together the larger picture for yourself for any particular span of time. That being said, this reading is a little bit different than what I see a lot on YouTube in general. A Path of True Love read, yes, it involves relationships because the Path of True Love is our spiritual healing, hero's journey, whatever you want to call it, ascension path, seen through the lenses of our relationship. So yes, it's about relationships, soulmates and twin flames and lovers, oh my, but also your familiar relationships, your friends, every relationship in your life, including your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the divine, right? But it's your path. So this reading is about you, no matter if anyone is ever indicated in a Path of True Love reading that I'm doing, and really we're only picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, one from 7 different decks. If other people are indicated, it's all about being in relationship with them, not what they do, right? This is your reading, sort of like a pH test, right? Like, where am I on the pH scale? But this is answering the question, where am I on the Path of True Love for a particular time frame, which is January 2020, unless you're watching this out of nowhere, and then it is timeless. Cool. So please remember to breathe. That is really important. The more we are conscious of breathing, and I mean myself in this too when I say we, I'm more grounded. I slow it down so I'm not such a machine gun when I read. I get that way when I forget to consciously breathe. I can steamroller a client, but I get a lot of information at the same time. So, you know, it's a balance. So if you're doing the same, you're breathing along with me while you're watching this, you're going to be more in the present moment. You're going to be tuning to the same frequency of guidance and grace that I am, just by focusing, right? Just even on the sound of my voice and breathing, it's going to tap you into what I'm tapping into. So you can tell more by what's rising up inside of you in terms of your own intuitive response, like how your body is feeling while the reading goes on, what's for you and what isn't. So, I mean, that's just a good rule of thumb for any reading, just to be present and breathe, because the mind can start analyzing one piece of information while another piece of information is coming in that you totally miss, right? So just better to breathe. Cool. So here we go. Let's dive in. Nice deep breath. Let's go deep, my Scorpios. We're going to start with the angels, the Healing with Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. All of the decks that I read are in the description box, at the bottom of the description box, and I've got some other cool stuff on there you might want to check out. I am prolific. If I'm anything, I am prolific. So let's go. Breathe. Just finding that still point is so delicious. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020, though timeless, please, for this Scorpio collective sun, moon, rising sign. Where are they on the path of true love? Let's start us off with support. Now, Sagittarius just got this exact same card. So if you have any planets in Sagittarius, go check. Or if you're dealing with somebody who's a Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, whatever, go check. Because this card of support, and this one feels a little differently than the other one did, being, I just did that one earlier today. This one really does feel like the intuitive spiritual support, where the Sagittarian had the spiritual support, but it was also very much about physical support. Like they were safe to feel whatever was going on with them. This feels a bit deeper, a bit more solid, but that sense of being, here's the word they're giving me, oh, that would make sense, buoyed up, because buoy is usually something in water, right? You're a water sign. So though things might be in flux, there is buoyancy. You're being buoyed up by the guides, the masters, your own higher self, your angels, your spirit team, whatever you want to call it. Whether or not that's playing itself out in your physical world remains to be seen, right? So let's just start with that. We'll just say support. You're getting the message that the angels in their celestial overview, they're saying that you have the support you need right now on the path. Let's have a look-see. We're going to ask the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fiona Morgan, brilliant deck. Feminist deck, I love it so much. For the voices of the divine feminine, all of the divine feminine, meaning, well, I call them the voices of the goddess. But if you like, that's half of the universal energy, right? If you're going to talk polarity, divine masculine, divine feminine, we're looking at the totality of all the divine feminine energy. I just prefer to call it the voice of the goddess or goddesses. Cool, cool. Here we go. Nice deep breath. Because what's in a name? A goddess by any other name. Although there's a big difference between, you know, Aphrodite and Kali, though I've seen both at the same time. The same person. Here we go. My goddesses, please, one card in clarity. For the Scorpio collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love? The angels are saying support. My goddesses, where are they? Two of Flames, Maueha. Polynesian volcano goddess. It's fire in the hands. Now, in the Rider-Waite Tarot, we think of the Two of Wands as sort of almost like indecisive, because fire is about will and desire, right? It's like, I want to do this, but I also want to do this. Think of the ace, like the Ace of Flames, the Ace of Wands, being that, ooh, now, ooh, what do I do, right? Similar to this, it's creativity, it's sexuality, it's fire in the hands. It's like a choice, a decision. So it's not so much the analysis of the element of air so much as it is the polarity of, well, I could invest this here, I could do that. Do I or don't I? It's more about the impetus of fire. So yes, a choice, a decision sort of indicated here, which was also in the Sagittarius read, by the way, just saying. It was the card of the Lovers, more of a life-changing decision. This one feels more just like a choice with a significant consequence, but there's a difference between a choice and a consequence. Have a cup of coffee that's going to give you a consequence. That's a choice, usually a perk, right? And if it's good coffee, a really delicious flavor, full-bodied, right? Life decision is I'm moving to Brazil to farm my own beans, right? It's life-changing, just bigger scale, bigger scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the Mythic Tarot for, like we did with the goddesses, we're going to do with the gods, right? The divine masculine energy. Nice deep breath. Because the gods backing me up on this one are pretty deep. I can feel them. Oh my gods, please. One card in clarity for the Scorpio collective. Sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? In context of the angels saying support, and the goddess is saying Two of Flames. Oh, wow. We've got the Tower, which interestingly enough is the god Poseidon in this deck, which is one of the two gods that sit in the throne of Scorpio for me, and that's his totem. It's those plastic beads that were made from plastic that was taken out of the ocean. Oh, I forget the name of it, but I got the dolphin one. My mom got it me for, oh yeah, like Christmas last year. Not this year before last. So that's sort of interesting that you got the Earth Shaker, right? The god of the oceans, one of the gods that sits in the throne of Scorpio for me, being here in the Scorpio reading for the voice of the god. So what do we know about the Tower? Well, it depends on, you know, what you want to do with this choice. This choice can all be about how do I want to deal with what's going on? Because the Tower, though we often think of it purely as destruction, it's destruction of something that no longer serves. Different than the Death card, which is transformation. This is something that happens like that, where transformation is usually a bit of a process, right? Like from a butterfly egg, or, you know, like egg to larva, caterpillar to pupa to butterfly. It's a cycle. This is more like bam, being struck by lightning, which can very much, like falling in love, right? Changes your life in an instant. Not so much that gradual thing going on there, nor is there usually a decision involved like the Lovers. It's just all of a sudden it's upon you. So on the path of true love, that can even be a bolt of divine love, right? Something that comes through you. But what I find interesting with this Two of Flames is any indecision feels like it's not going to matter. So you can, you know, play that game back and forth, because there'll always be, well, you ever hear 6 of one, half dozen of the other? There'll always be like 6 reasons to do it, half dozen reasons not to do it. The mind, the mind, the mind. This is not a mind card. This is a fire card. So it's got to be down to, what do I really want? Element of fire, but fire needs air. So of course you have to contemplate it and think about it, but this is a card of spirit. It feels like you will know. Let this play itself out. If earlier on in the month, or however this plays itself out for you, time-wise, you are dealing with that indecision, hang in there. Take baby steps towards that. Well, I really feel, not emotion, but like I really want. That's the word you're looking for. I really want, like I really choose. I want to choose this. I may have some hesitation, some reservation, but you see, I have the support, and you have the support, so no matter what drastic transformation happens, transformation is not really the right word. It's almost like intervention. Best example I have for this is to take it out of the physical, because we're so used to seeing this as something physical that happens. It can be, and I've been using this definition for decades when I teach tarot, the card of the Tower is sort of like somebody who doesn't believe in ghosts or spirits or the paranormal for like 40 years, and then one night something shows up. Right? And they're like, right? That sort of struck by lightning, right? The tower destroyed. So keep that in mind. It's something abrupt usually and fast, and can be the destruction of a belief system, not just the something physical being busted up, though that is traditionally how people do see it. Just not necessarily feeling that on this one. Can be like a bolt of enlightenment, where all of a sudden the gods are like, do this, right? Because even the lightning bolt, if you look on the Rider-Waite Tarot, for the card of the Tower, those little droplets of light in the air are actually the Hebrew letter Yod, Y-O-D or Y-O-D-H, depending on which teaching, which means the finger of God. It's even an astrological angle, the Yod. It's like a weird kind of trine. I have one in my chart. Great fun. Let's be touched by God. Jinkies. Okay, we're going to turn, speaking of touched by God, we're going to turn to the voice of the Masters. We're going to be double dipping with the Masters today, 2 different decks. The other one will be at the end, the Kahn Healing Mantra deck. But this deck is the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, Baby Love Pack. It's really great. It's 4 suits. It's the Healing suit, the Gray suit, the Luck suit, and the Problem suit, the Womp Womp cards, the Debbie Downer deck, as I like to call them, and they are half of, so they're half of the deck, so we'll see what pops up for you in terms of where you are, sort of like a GPS read going on here. Nice deep breath, please, my Scorps. Oh, find that still point. Here we go. My Ascended Masters, please, 1 card in clarity for this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020 or timeless, considering we've got support, the 2 of Flames, and the Tower Feels like that support's going to be necessary here. Please. My masters, I feel it. I feel it. I know. Which one is it, though? Is it this one? It's this one. Okay. For this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Okay. Defensiveness. And what I find so interesting is that he's in a tower. Look at those cards. So much like each other. And you know what else is really interesting? They're both towers on islands. What are the fucking chances of that, Scorpio? So what might be coming down are your defenses, right? There's this line in Course in Miracles, and again, I paraphrase. I'm not a great direct verbatim quoter. I am a student and teacher of Course in Miracles long enough that what you defend against, right? Be careful what you defend. You invite what you defend. You ever meet people with their dukes up, like all the time, like always on the defense? They always bring to themselves something that they have to defend against. Now that's, I think, true in a sense. I mean, we want our immune systems to always have their dukes up ready to fight. That is a natural defense. But I think this is talking more about like a psychological stance, an attitude, right? A fear. It's a difference between protecting the innocence of your heart for those who might not be conscious or ready enough to interact with it. That's a very nice way of saying it. But this is more like, no, stay away. That's the feel on this. And we know you Scorpios. My brother Matthew is a Scorpio. I've had Scorpios throughout my whole life. Though you are the sweetest people once you let us inside the Citadel. Outside the Citadel, you all are fucking mysterious, right? So we have no idea what's going on, why you're being defensive, or that you're being defensive. You can come across all sorts of different ways. So do know that the defensiveness with the supportive spirit, it's like, is it necessary? Now, you do not have to post all over social media, my defenses are down, but, you know, with that card of the Tower, you might not have much of a choice. It feels like something's going to hit you, and I don't feel like it's going to be something physical in that sense. I feel like it's going to be something more the emotional, spiritual. Of course, it's going to have to translate through the mental somehow, but not feeling a lot of air so far going on here, but quite a bit of water, even though there's no water sign here, but water indicated in both cards that happen to fucking have towers in them. So what we're going to do, we're going to ask the higher selves of all involved, your higher self with the Whisper of Love Oracle, what the heck is going on and where you are on the path. Breathe. Oh, still point, still point. The higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. On the path of true love for January 2020. Where are they on the path of true love? Considering the angels are talking about support, the goddesses, Two of Flames, the god, the card of the Tower, and the masters are talking about defensiveness, right? So please, higher selves, what's going on for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, January 2020, on the path of true love? Love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. And the hit that I get on that is that you may very well have yourself so, what's this word? Not just insulated, not just protected, but so seamlessly defended that the very things that are that you want, that are trying to get to you, can't get to you. Now, I don't want to go into, your vibration is low. Fuck that. It might just be a divine timing thing, but, this is what I'm hearing. It's sort of like, it's really appropriate. Certain boundaries are very appropriate in children that are not appropriate in adults. Like, don't talk to strangers. Really good for a 4-year-old, not great for a 44-year-old. You see what I'm saying? Like, there might just need to be a kind of feeling things out here. Your water sign, feel this out. If you are not feeling safe, and there is a choice that you have to make on the path of true love, just love who you are. This card really does say it. You are a divine and wonderful person. Now let's just start there. You are divine. We all are. We are souls that are chosen to play these characters in these bodies. We may not remember choosing it. I really don't remember choosing it. I can look at things that have happened in my life and say, oh, I could see why my soul would choose that, but the ego doesn't choose. So when we are identified with the ego, with the personality, of course we're not. We're not going to remember who we are from that place. But as we grow on the path, as we embody more love, becoming the true love that we truly are, we begin to remember our divinity. You are a divine and a wonderful person, meaning like that word wonder. Like think of that word wonder with the word wander, right? It's like there's so much wealth. I mean, okay, Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, Hades, Lord of the dead, God of the underworld, but the richest God of all of them because of all of the wealth underground that you can't necessarily see, right? So like hidden wealth, hidden gems. So, you know, I can understand you wanting to protect, and again, we're not talking healthy boundaries here. Look, abuse, neglect, codependence, walk away if you can, right? Well, particularly physical, emotional abuse, physical, emotional neglect, those are toxic. Those are contract cancelers, right? You can walk, pick up your bed and walk, go anywhere other than where that situation is. But in terms of protecting your own internal wealth, your own internal wonderfulness, just feels like with this card of defensiveness, might be a little extra. You know, might be a little too much, not necessarily allowing all of the wonderful things that life have to offer to get to you. You might have to take some risks here. And with the card of the Tower, I don't know how much of a choice you're going to have. Well, you will have a choice as what to do as and once the Tower falls. And by the way, and the Tower is always rebuilt, right? It's always the next thing that comes. So it's like you're knocking down all the Legos just to rebuild, you know, the next tower, so to speak. We're going to do a Journey of Love Oracle card. Now, I only ever pull one of these for any spread that I'm doing, even if it's a larger spread for Soulmate or Twin Flame, or you know, whatever. They're just very, very potent, these, and they're very mystical in the sense that they are mysterious, but they always seem to weave things together. So where we've pulled the different decks from the different voices of my pantheons, if you will, this is from the collective pantheon, all of them together. This should be fun. Nice deep breath. Find that still point with me. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Where are they on the path of true love for January 2020? Please, one to tie this together for my Scorpios. Here we go. Gonna read it from the book. It's too much to memorize. There's poetry involved, you'll see. What'd you get? The Breaking. This, I think, was in the Scorpio read. It's either in the Scorpio read or in the Aquarian. I can't remember, but this is recent. And this is a tricky fucking card. And pairs with the Tower quite perfectly. So card number 65. I'm pretty sure. Like, there's a lot. I just can't remember if it was Sagittarius or Aquarius, because I'm doing them in backwards zodiacal order. It's one or the other. Just can't remember off the top of my head. 65, The Breaking. Now this breaks it into three pieces. The first bit is about the meaning of the card. The second is what the oracle means for the person who's getting it. And the third is a lovely piece of poetry. Shall we? Breathe. The Breaking. You are breaking apart. The Tower. You might not understand it at all. There is so much to be understood, but the simplicity doesn't mean it's easy to endure. Oh, there is not so much to be, in other words, there's not much to understand. Shit's breaking down. But the simplicity doesn't mean it's easy to endure. Of course not. You may worry that you are going too far, that you may not recover or ever come back together again. But what can you do? Can you hold back from the divine love that calls you, that lures you to becoming all that you are, to remembering your divine nature? Well, you could try, but for what purpose? Temporary rest before the storm at best, right? So if you want to put it off, you can, but only to just kind of like get your shit together because shit is going down. Take a breather, take a break, have a sandwich, do what you got to do, but then it's coming. And that's the thing with the card of the Tower. It hits us all eventually. So take the rest if you need it, then dive into the storm. Let yourself be brokenhearted by the divine so that you can become your truth, become all that you are meant to be. It is better to have the heart broken so that it grows than to be brokenhearted by thinking that you must protect yourself from love. See why I use this deck. This oracle brings compassionate guidance that no matter what sadness or anger, despair or frustration you may feel, you are being pulled apart not by dark forces, but by the loving embrace of the divine as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. Let go and break. It is going to be the making of you, in other words. The breaking down, the tower will be rebuilt, but it will be rebuilt on a firmer foundation. And never forget that with the card of the tower, the only reason it's been struck down is not because you're bad or you're being punished. It's not a card of punishment. It's saying the foundation is cracked, right? The whole thing's going to fall eventually, so let's just knock this fucker down and rebuild it with a more solid, stable foundation. And why? Because you are worth it, right? Love who you are. Now look, people will say love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. How? Whatever you're going through, you turn to your heart chakra, and whatever it's feeling, you talk to it like a child. It's what inner child work is. It's like, I love you, I'm so sorry, this hurts so much, but I'm here. No matter, I say this to my kid, my inner kid, my sweetheart, because it is your heart, your innocence. No matter what comes, no matter what goes, I'm here for you. I love you, I love you, I love you. You don't talk psychology to it. You don't talk metaphysics or spirituality to it. You talk to it like it is a child that is afraid or angry or raging. It's like, I love you, honey. I'm here. You're not alone. Go ahead, cry. I'm here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's how you love yourself, because you are a divine and wonderful person deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. And this is just clearing away any of the defenses that are keeping that out, worth the breaking. So the poem. Love. Love is a special closeness that sings from the heart, that warms my days and nights, that feels good, that makes me smile, that makes me glad to be alive. Rough, but we're not done yet. We have got the Healing Mantra deck, Matt Kahn. Love these. Because even before I started these readings, this particular set, the Path of True Love reads, because I was like, but shouldn't I put this before the Journey of Love card? Because then the collective pantheons, I said, no, save it to last, because it'll be the most memorable thing, the last thing that they remember. And even if they just remember the mantra, it will help them maybe tap them in mentally to remember everything else, but will at least give them something, at least. It's a big thing. Something that they can work with, something practical. And mantras are very practical and different than affirmations, please. They're not, they may well be verbalized, written, chanted, although you don't really chant affirmations. You chant mantras. And my background in Sanskrit mantras are decades long. I mean, I worked with the Ashaya monks, so if you're familiar with the Ashayas, MSI and all of that. I have a long-term romance with Sanskrit in terms of chanting, right? A little different. It's like repeating code. It's like invoking power from the soul, not just trying to reprogram the subconscious mind. And it's all good in the neighborhood, whatever you're doing. So the way these work, one side of the card is the name of the mantra, the other is the mantra itself. And the name of the mantra is alphabetical, so I can look it up in the book, because there's just a paragraph's worth of info in here for each one, but it's so good. So this is the double dip. We're going to the masters again for you. Please, a nice full deep breath. Find that still point with me. My masters. Please, one card in clarity. A healing mantra for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for January 2020, though timeless. Considering we've got the angels talking about support, that the support is there, right? And that's the angels, the gods, the masters, all the pantheons supporting the Scorpios. But there is a decision to make, but a decision in that two of flames that could bring about the Tower, or that the Tower is coming anyway, and there's a choice, not a choice of how to deal with this, but there is defensiveness, yet as the Scorpio loves who they are, those defenses perhaps are going to be released more gracefully through the breaking. So please, my masters, what's the healing mantra for them that they can really memorize and use and repeat to themselves, chant however they can use it on the path of true love for January 2020, for my Scorpio collectives, my brothers, my sisters? What you got for them? Dispelling sadness. Dispelling sadness. And nobody wants to have to dispel sadness, but sadness comes into each life. Some rain must fall. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. And this is something that hit me yesterday, the day before. I woke up not just feeling sad, feeling depressed. And sure, there are things that perhaps I could have been focused on that could have brought me there, but I woke up that way, which was a little weird. And I was like, what is this? And I started talking to my child, and the child of my heart was depressed. Now, here's the thing, I'm an empath. I could have been feeling anybody in, 100-mile radius, or just what the world has been going through the past couple of days, right? With the fires in Australia and, let's just say, other things in the news. That sadness, and I just learned depressed means you need deep rest. Get it? Depressed is a code for deep rest. That's why so many people take to their beds and sleep. And yes, there is a very thin line between what is healthy and unhealthy, and that line is different for everybody. But I took a good chunk of the day just to lay in bed and love that child and cry and sleep and cry and sleep. Whatever it was, I can't even remember what it was about, but it was being healed from my field. Also rhymes. So let me read you this one. Dispelling sadness. Dispelling sadness. And by the way, if you're dealing with clinical depression, I'm sorry, I'm one of those witches and one of those spiritual teachers that tell people stay on your meds. Like, just, you have to, if you're working with a doctor, if you're working with medication, absolutely integrate the spiritual stuff into it, but just don't drop your meds. I've seen what happens as the result of that. It's complementary. You want to do like both wings of the plane to land the sucker, if that metaphor works at all. Let's look at dispelling sadness. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. When sadness dissolves, you are able to acknowledge upheavals of emotion as profound healings taking place, like the Tower. As a result, you are inspired to give your body the rest and rejuvenation it needs, rather than to push yourself into states of imbalance. And I think that might be what this choice is. It's like, do I want to go with this or not, right? It's like, how do I want to deal with this? It's what I want to do. Element of fire, will, and desire. As you dissolve sadness, you become aware of the vital role downtime plays in helping you recharge your energy field. This mantra is ideal for dealing with depression, deep rest, fighting against time, and learning how to relax. So I will feel better once I get the rest I need, dispelling sadness. But here's the thing. What's good about this is that, as tumultuous as this may be, I mean, come on, you got the Tower, literally with the card of defensiveness, with a Tower, both on islands. It's a little on the nose. If you've been feeling isolated, which, let's face it, Scorpios, you're sort of known for isolation. It's not like Hades, Pluto, hung out with the other gods that much. He was always in the underworld. Why wouldn't he be? The spas down there are unbelievable. And the breaking, and it's all about loving who you are, but you just need to rest. So in other words, you don't need to, change your entire life, do an entire makeover, go take a workshop. You need to rest. You need to allow your nervous system, which I want you to think of your nervous system as like the electric lines, right? Like the power lines in your neighborhood, all being at top maximum. Like everybody's got everything going at once. That's what the ego is an inflamed nervous system, right? So to allow yourself to feel that and breathe while you relax, in other words, it's not about repressing anything. It's about letting the tower fall, but doing it in a loving way, loving who you are. I love you. It's okay. That nothing, the only thing that's going to be stripped from me is that which no longer serves. I may have attachment to it, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to really have much of an option. You cannot stop lightning from striking. You cannot stop the yod, the finger of God, for coming from you. Read the stories of the masters. A whole bunch of them tried to run. You can't. It's scheduled, which also means you didn't do anything wrong, which means that this is part of the divine plan. You can't fuck up the divine plan, my Scorpios. No one can. But remember that if the gods want you to turn right and you turn left, they will give you just 2 more lefts and you will end up going right. It's in other words, the divine plan, like an immune system, has a self-correcting thing in it, that it doesn't matter what we do, we always end up where we're supposed to be on time. I know it's very the Matrix, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But when you study like the ancient sutras, like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, right, the ancient mystical scriptures, and then you start studying like quantum physics, boom, both sides of the brain slap together and you go, oh, we don't really have a choice, but we do have free will of how we want to play it out. And really, not a bad mantra. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. So if you're going through something and people say, well, how are you doing? You can say, I will feel better once I get the rest I need. And they're going to say, you need a rest. You say, yes, I need a rest. I need to just kind of fucking love myself and chill. And then if I'm going to be defensive, it will be the putting up of a boundary of, sorry, rest time. Pretty good that you have the support you need and how much you want to bet. This is from some of the people in your life too who may get it. Not everybody might get that you need a rest. Why? Because you might be concealing what's going on inside of you, putting up a front. But that's okay. You have the choice what to do or of what you want to do with this. Keep going, press on the gas, or get the rest that you need, foot on the brake, to love who you are as things break. And just get that this is the divine breaking you. This is not about external circumstances punishing you at all. This is about the transformation. Because, oh, okay, I haven't seen this metaphor in a while. I like this one. Oh, we'll make it simile, not a metaphor. I'm going to use like or as. Like a chick in an egg, it has everything it needs in its environment until a certain moment where then it has to peck its way out or it will die, because literally there's a chemical change within the egg that if the chick does not start using its egg tooth to chip its way out, it's going to die. So it's literally dying to be born. That's sort of what this feels like. Take your metaphors where you can find it, if you can remember what you metaphor. May the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, to transform, to rise from the collapsing of the tower, to rebuild themselves, to love themselves, and to get the rest that they need to become the best that they can be, to heal, to grow, to evolve, and fulfill their role in the divine plan on the path of true love, bringing more true love to the planet in a time where it desperately, desperately needs it for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you for watching, my Scorpios. Please do like and subscribe. Help me get to my super live chat number of 1,000, and I promise you we will have fun with Drunk Tarot at least once a month, as well as I'll probably do a couple of live chats a week. I mean, yeah, maybe we'll see. Cool, cool. It's a mystery. Find out. Loving you all so much, my Scorpio brothers and sisters. But for now, as ever, hail, farewell, and blessed be.